on that X2O. You see I got it in? You probably can't see the way I got my camera, but there you go. 70 trace, all natural, organic, alkaline trace marine minerals. Once I add these minerals to my filtered water and my BPS resin-free, recyclable, reusable bottle, right? It automatically turns it into hydrogen water. Micro-clustered hydrogen, alkaline trace infused minerals water, living water. But, you know, I said that I was going to make me a video. I'm very spontaneous. I'm not scripted. But I'm going to give you some information, you know. This is the little pouch that it comes in. I get 6 sachets per pouch. And I get 5 of those in a pack, which is 30 sachets. You get 5 of these pouches. 5 of these pouches of 6 make a pack. And six of these sachets, in case you don't know what they look like, let me show you. Right? Because I get a lot of times, a lot of people asking me, you know, what brand of water should I drink? See, this is what it looks like when I take it out of the pouch. You know, and I just drop that, just like you would drop a tea bag inside of some water and stir it up. I drop that inside of my bottle. If you got a glass, you drop it in, stir it, shake it. Instant and effective, right? And it produces a 9.9 to a 10 pH. But I want to tell you a little story. You know, it's story time, because it's more to how I came into the knowledge of the existence of these life-giving minerals, that I don't drink any water or any juice, non-carbonated beverage without X2O. I don't care if I leave the house, if I'm in a restaurant, wherever I go. I could be on an airplane. Knowing what I know now about these real minerals that come right out of the ocean off of the coast of Okinawa, Japan, I'm not going to drink any water or juice without those minerals, right? Now, the information is the information, but I'm going to tell you how I got to this destination. Now, if you don't know me, right, I have been plant-based. I started my journey in 2006, right? So I started with giving up chicken, and then I gave up chicken and beef and dairy back in 2006, right? At that time, I had absolutely no knowledge about alkaline minerals, Xooma Worldwide, any of that stuff. I just thought that water was water, hydration was hydration, within inside of my own ignorance. Why? Because I had never come across that information before, never been taught that in any school that I've been to. But my journey started with what I did have the basic knowledge of, and that was I gave up red meat. I gave up chicken, I gave up beef. I already wasn't eating pork, right? So for 3 years, I went cold turkey with the chicken, the beef, the dairy. So more reading, more studying, more living, more experiencing, more growth, right? Come 2009, I came across a book called African Holistic Health and Nutricide, written by Dr. Laila O. Africa. May he rise in life. You know, he have already transcended. That book right there, those 2 books right there, reading about the farm-raised fish, all of the antibiotics, the filthy conditions of the tanks, you name it. I was like, you know what? Now I know enough and have grown enough. I'm ready to give up this seafood, because that was my Achilles heel, right? So going into 2010, I gave up all seafood. Now, mind you, I did this within inside of conditions wherein I didn't have access to supplements, superfoods, fresh organic greens, and all of the stuff, the life-giving essence in things that I have access to now. So, what I did was I just chose the healthiest options that I had access to at that particular time within inside of that said environment that I was in, right? So that consisted of like refried beans, a lot of oatmeal, knowing that a lot of vegetables, fruits, stuff like that, trading meat for fruits, things like that, right? So 2013, I get out, right? And in case you don't know, yeah, I became plant-based while I was incarcerated, right? So I do the 13 years, I get out. I get out with asthma. I developed asthma inside of the prison system, wherein I didn't have it before. So, but I know it was environmental. It was an environmental impact. Secondhand smoke, poor ventilation, and now looking back, poor water quality. My body was over acidic, inflamed, mucus, you know what I'm saying, in regards to, not getting proper nourishment, things like that. So, but fortunately, that's the only thing that impacted me. So I got out. I was on an asthma pump. 3 years, they put me on Symbicort. But in my mind, I wasn't about to accept the fact that I was going to have no asthma for the rest of my life. So that's why I'm telling you, a large part of healing is a mindset. You can't lay down to it. You got to have the mindset that you eventually are going to find your answer. But moving right along, I used the Symbicort for like 3 years. Come 2016, summer 2016, came across Herbalists, put me on to the apple cider vinegar, honey and lemon. Now, mind you, this was before I found out anything about X2O, right? Because I'm giving you truth, giving you what it really is. So I get off the asthma pump, stayed on the apple cider vinegar for like a year and some change, just because I was apprehensive. Because like I said, it had been like I haven't said that. It was like 11 years that I have been battling with that asthma. Because I had my first asthma attack while I was locked up, in 2005. They put me on my first asthma pump 2009. That was 4 years later. I had went without an asthma pump. But nevertheless, get off the asthma medicine, regroup, recover my breathing. And I was drinking a lot of filtered water. Now, mind you, if you know me, I run every week. I'm a runner. And I was experiencing a lot of headaches, a lot of dizziness, not knowing that I was actually putting myself in harm's way by doing all of those vigorous exercises, running and depleting and severely dehydrating my body. And my body was giving me actual real signs of crashing and burning. I might run 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles or whatever I ran, and I was crashing and burning after my runs, not realizing I was depleting myself of vital minerals. And the only way that we could get minerals in our bodies is we got to get it from an outside source. But like I said, in my ignorance, thinking that I was doing the right thing, thinking that it was just fatigue, I was putting myself in harm's way and didn't even know it. Why? Because I didn't have a viable hydration source. Because nothing can replace water, people. Nothing can replace water, because we made up of 70 to 80% water. Water is the best and most effective vehicle and transport system for minerals to get inside of our cells that our body is made up of, right? There is nothing else that can carry the vitamins and nutrients and minerals into our cells more effectively than water. But if that water is too large, which I did not know at the time, if it's acidic, if the water molecule is too large, wherein it can't penetrate our bodies on a cellular level, then most of that water going to pass right through us and right out of us. But it's not going to be absorbed by our body on a cellular level. So what I'm saying, I was drinking filtered water, you know, at the time probably using the little mineral drops, which really aren't really no good. But I say summer 2019, right? I was introduced to X2O, right? Now, at the time, me thinking that I'm plant-based, I work out, I run, attributing my my lightness in my head and crashing and burning, right? Headaches. I'm attributing that to fatigue because of my exercises and my runs. So I'm really thinking I'm good. But this is what I want to share with you. Even though I was plant-based, working out, running, doing all of that, you know, had already got off of the asthma meds, took my lungs back. I haven't had an asthma attack since 2016, so I'm thinking I'm good. But I'm still glad I didn't have the big head. In a lot of cases, you could plateau and get to a point where you feeling as if like you don't need no more information. I never want to get to that point. And that's why I'm glad that I was open to this alkaline trace mineral cellular hydration and mineralization game. Because it took my performance and my health and my hydration to, I'm not going to even say the next level. I would have to say multiple next levels. Because I felt great then, but since 2019 of putting these minerals in my water, in my juices, even when I make smoothies, you know, I'm going to use X2O water. You see what I'm saying? I feel absolutely amazing going on 48. I'll be 48 next month. Should I continue to breathe breath? So what am I saying? Even though I was good, I still was open to the information, and it helped me to improve upon what I already thought was a good situation. It just took me even higher, because if you've never experienced something in its authenticity before, then you really won't know what's missing. You don't have a real contrast. So I know where I was at. I know what I was doing. I know how I felt inside of myself. I know the growth. I know the transition. And then I know what has been taking place in my life ever since I've been adding these minerals to my water for the last 6 years. And I'm telling you, now I run 6, 7. If I do a 10-mile run, whatever I run, when I get back after a workout, no more headaches. No more crash and burn. No more dizziness. And I'm talking about even if I run on the hottest, whether I run on the hottest days or the coldest days, you still evaporating and losing water out your body. Right? What I'm saying is that my muscle repair, those y'all that love to work out, muscle repair, soreness. I'm talking about going and like, all it takes is like one night's rest and I'm good. Why? Because my body is literally absorbing these minerals, and the water is going into my cells directly, and now my body is able to not only to produce more energy, but to repair itself, cleanse itself, detox itself on a daily basis. So that means that I got very little inflammation inside of my body. I haven't had a head. I don't get headaches after runs and things like that no more. That was 2019. It's 2025. I'm still on these same minerals. That's how I came to know about this. And I said, wow, you know, I found out that they had a prosperity plan. Not only can I take care of my health and wellness on a whole nother level, but I could also bring value to the people. And in these last 6 years, I've met countless amounts of people, up close, personal, and at a distance, and I've seen what these minerals have done for the people, family. People with these are their stories, right? Just like how I have my story, they have theirs. People that have had high blood pressure, diabetes, people who have been said that they've been at in 30 to 45 days, and how their waistlines have trimmed down. You know, because your body is regulated. You know, whether your natural at whatever height I got a little interruption. What I'm saying is that I've seen not just seen and felt my results, but I've seen the results of countless amounts of people. So back to this question of what brand of water, what I've learned, and since then I've become a certified hydration specialist through the company. And that's what I love about the company that I'm shopping with and getting my products from, because unlike if I go out into the public and I buy Dasani or Aquafina or any of these brands that can't hydrate me, or even if I go to GNC, they're not going to give me an education. They're not going to they're not providing their consumer bases with holistic health information every week. With every order, I get an education. The company takes the time out to give us newsletters every month. You know, they got holistic practitioners and you know, people that are that are very well educated in the holistic health community, doing telephone calls, making audios, writing up PDFs and putting out the information for those that who become members that want to continue to learn and to enhance, you know what I'm saying, our knowledge of not just what we're doing, but why we're doing it. So what am I saying? We get a whole education. A whole education is provided practically for free with this membership. We're just plugging into a community of people all across the nation, all across the world, that care about our outcomes, that have identified with the fact that the tap water is toxic, has carcinogens in it. The bottled waters, now they done found microplastics, nanoplastics. They're saying that they finding these invasive plastics in the environment, in the breast milk of women, in the brains of cadavers, in the testicle of males, right? So what am I saying? It's like, it's not about the brand anymore. Let me answer that question. What brand of water? Because my aim is to use myself as a living example of what you see me presenting and what you see me providing, right? When in terms of information and natural selections, natural options, and things of that nature. And like I said, I'm not a scripted person. I'm just a consumer just like you, who's educated myself and have been educating myself because I love myself just like how I know you love yourself. And loving myself to me is making the best possible decisions that I can when it comes down to preserving myself, because like I said, I know what it's like not to be able to breathe. So environment is a part of health. The liquids that we drink every day is a part of our health, and the foods that we eat every day is a part of our health. You know, what touches our skin is a part of our health. But when it comes down to what brand of water, from what I wanted to make sure that not only did I just do a study and learn from the company, I've also done comparative studies. I studied bottled waters all across the nation throughout the years on my own, because I wanted to make sure that what I'm saying and what I'm doing is really the truth, like what's written on this bottle right here, right? I don't want to believe that something is what it. I want to know for a fact. So not only did I do an internal educational study with the company, but I also did my own independent research. Anytime I heard a term like ORP or NRW or ERW or pH or oxidation reduction potential or potential of hydrogen or power of hydrogen or electrochemical or electrolysis reduced water or natural reduced water. All of these things are things that I didn't know anything about before I became a certified hydration specialist through the company. But what am I saying? I educated myself because before I came to you as the people to let you know about these life-giving properties, I wanted to make sure that it was real and that I knew what I was talking about so that I could make sure. And I'm not saying that I waited until I learned all of this to start sharing it, because I started getting immediate results. But what I'm saying is that as I progressed, I gathered and gained more information, because some people are more technical. some people are not going to just take your word and your credit and your credibility at face value to say, oh, okay, yeah, I'll try that. And like I said, I'm not here to convince anybody, but I wanted to be able to answer questions on site, like upon meeting somebody. If somebody asked me a question, I could speak intelligibly, you know what I'm saying, about what they're asking me. And if I don't have the answer, I could call the company, get with the company, or get on the website. You see what I'm saying? Because it's an ecosystem. But what I learned through this, by studying bottled waters, pH, ORP, the difference between ERW, NRW, and studying bottled waters as far as Singapore. You know, I wanted to know what nations consumed the most bottled water in comparison with America. It led me to Singapore. I wanted to know the origin of alkaline water. Where did this come about? That led me to Japan. So the information, I didn't know that they had countries on, more upscale bottled waters that could run you everywhere from 20 to 40 to 50, in some cases $60, $70 a bottle. But the average person don't have that kind of money or that kind of access wherein you're going to spend $70 a bottle of water. You see what I'm saying? But what I learned was it's not about the brand. A brand is a name that is used for marketing. But it's all about what's in that water. What's the capability of that liquid? Does it have the ability to hydrate your body and to not just quench your thirst, but to provide your body with real health benefits that your body actually needs so that it can do what it needs to do for you on an involuntary level? Because what we voluntarily is going to determine whether or not if our bodies on a cellular, unseen, invisible level on the inside is going to be able to do what it needs to do for us involuntarily. So it's not about the brand. Most of the bottled waters that you're drinking and buying, or buying and drinking out in the public stores, are incomplete waters. It means that they have filtered it, but they strip it of everything that's harmful. But in stripping it of everything that's harmful, if it even had anything in it that was health beneficial to in the beginning, which I would say that most likely it didn't, because a lot of it is tap water. So in them taking everything out of it that's bad, or attempting to, they're not putting anything back in it that your body needs. They might give you a couple of chemicals, a little potassium, a little calcium, a little sodium, right? But it's chemical drops. It's inorganic compounds, in a lot of cases that your body can't need. So what we have to do, we have to take filtered water, whether you filter it for yourself, distill it for yourself, put it through a reverse osmosis process for yourself. You're creating a base of clean water that you've done your best to filter out whatever it is that you want to filter it out with. Whether you got a filtration system on your sink, or you use a quality filtration pitcher, or you buy glass bottled water that's already filtered. The point is, you want to add minerals back to that water. You want to put inside of that water what's missing and what your body needs the most. And if you want more information about that in detail, there's plenty of information on my page. You could click the link, the website link in my caption, in my bio on my page, or you could click the website that's automatically generated on all of my lives, and just look around for yourself. I'm just attaching my face, my voice, and giving you transparency to be able to see that I am in fact a living example of what I am sharing. In a lot of cases, celebrities, people like that, influencers, they telling you about stuff to do and to buy and to put inside of your body and things like that. But in a lot of cases, they're not even really using the things that they're telling you to use. So, I'm not going to make this any longer than I already have. I just wanted to tell you a little story as to how I got to this point in my life. I feel great. Like I said, I'm 47 going on 48 years old. I feel amazing. And I'm a part of the health spectrum and advocacy that's saying, hey, transform your water and you will transform your life. I think that it's a very worthy mission. And even those, a lot of times people say, hey, you know what, I can't afford it. But look, you can get these products for free. I practically have been using, I would say for the most part, been utilizing these products for free for the last 6 years. It's very, very rare wherein, you come across a company that got A1 products and they allow you to get paid for referrals. So it's not so much sales. It's about a buddy system. It's like a shopper's network wherein you can voluntarily utilize the referral program to help to leverage the cost of your own monthly minerals and your own products. Now, mind you, this is just one of over 30, selections that they have, but this is the foundation. This is what helps everything else to work in concert and to work better rather than if you did not have this inside of your water and your juice. Because cellular hydration and mineralization is the foundation of your natural, biological, holistic health. I don't care what kind of supplements you choose to use, whether you choose to utilize the ones that we have and we provide, whether or not if you do sea moss, whether or not if you do black seed oil, whether or not if you're a fruitarian, vegetarian, vegan, keto, carnivore, whatever your Mediterranean diet, regardless of your eating habit or your lifestyle, unfortunately, due to the mineral depletion of the American agricultural soil, we all need minerals because a lot of the fruits, even though I'm plant-based, wherein I only had to eat one apple, they used to tell us 1 apple a day, keep the doctor away. Well, guess what? Now I got to probably eat like 6 or 7 of those just to equal up to one. One apple, say the year 1930 versus the year 2025. Back then, I probably would have been able to eat 1 apple. But now I'm going to have to eat about 5 or 6 of them. Who wants to eat 5, 6, 7, 8 apples a day? Trying to, get what one apple is supposed to be able to give you on a nutritional level, because the soil no longer has the right amount of vitamins and minerals inside of it in order to produce fruits and vegetables that we could thrive off of exclusively without needing supplements or having to, utilize outside sources and things like that in order to make sure that we're getting a daily balanced nutrition each and every last single day. You see, a lot of people that are plant-based, vegan, vegetarian, I know this firsthand and I've seen it. You still vitamin D deficient in a lot of cases. You still don't have enough vitamin B12 inside your life. You don't got enough zinc. You don't have enough selenium. You're not getting enough essential fatty acids. I'm not talking about once a month or twice a month where you might get to a special grocery store that allows you to get hemp seed or black chia seed or flax seed and things of that nature, or some pumpkin seeds. I'm talking about each and every last single day. Our bodies have a biological requisite so that it can continue to do the things for us that we cannot consciously do for ourselves. And to me, the easiest thing to do is, just like how you drop tea and you make coffee, is to drop 70 plus trace minerals inside some water or some juice every day and drink it. Even if you just did that once a day, 1 sachet a day is good for 40 fluid ounces of water. So coupled with your other things that you're doing, at least you get everything that your body needs. And then you can also add, the multivitamin, the multi-mineral complex, or it's just whatever your specialty needs are, you will be able to have that in one location, like a one-stop shop. That's why I'm not about to stop shopping with Xooma Worldwide, because it's like a one-stop shop for everything that my body needs on a nutritional basis, on a supplemental nutritional basis, wherein I don't got to be guessing about whether or not if it works or not, because I know it works because I've been using it for 6 years. You see, I might use like about at least I'll say 4 to 7 or 4 to 8 of their products, faithful, but I rotate, I do rotations. But, you don't got to be out here guessing is what I'm saying. So I'm telling you my story of sharing information. I'm throwing a lot of things at you. You can always rewind this. you know, fast forward, rewind to whatever part or whatever it is that I'm saying that resonates with you the most, because one message is going to touch people in different ways. You know, so, you know, if you're trying to leverage the cost of your products, you think you're interested, or, you know, they got sample packs. If you're not a member yet, you want to, you know, give it a trial run. They got a $10.99 sample pack. Just get at me. Get with me. I'm letting you know I'm here. I'm going to download this, put it on my YouTube. Facebook has a tendency now of deleting live videos after 30 days. So I'm going to download this and upload this again like it's coming straight from my phone. So that way it'll still be a part of my Facebook video archive. If you have any questions or concerns, if there's anything that I've said that you don't quite understand, you want more clarity, whether or not you want to place an order, whether or not if you are a Xooma member that's already a member, and you know you need some help, what have you, you already done got your membership through me. We got a Xooma Worldwide new group. It's called Xooma Insiders. A lot of y'all are already members, but if you're not a member, you're new to my page, it's an honor to meet you. I appreciate you accepting my my friend requests. I send out friend requests for constructive purposes, in case you don't know. I'm not the guy that's gonna be playing in y'all inboxes and things like that, ladies. This is a health economical space. You know, if you got some information that you want to share with me, you know, learning is a two-way street. You know, I don't know everything. I'm just bringing the value that I have. If you got some value, you know, feel free, drop it in the comments. And let's continue to, you know, learn together, grow together, build together in the ways that we can. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, when I send out friend requests, it's because I'm bringing value. And if I see you look like, you know, a quality human being, you know, if I look at you, you know, because Facebook is always suggestion, you know, making suggestions as to who they think we need to send a friend request. So I use that. If you look like somebody that got some value and that, you know, can appreciate value, that's why I sent you a friend request. Because I know for a fact that it's information on my page, you know, that you and your family can benefit from. It just comes down to you tapping into it and, you know, coming to see it, realize that, or coming to the realization of that for yourself as a human being. So with that, it's your brother. I think I've said enough. That was what I wanted to get off my mind. So remember, it's not about the brand, but you want to stay away from plastic bottled waters. Okay? If you got to buy bottled water, do glass bottles. If you say, hey, I can't afford it, if you do end up having to buy, you know, cases of plastic bottled water, I still would highly suggest that you run it through a filter, right? I'm going to put the news reports that I saved, the videos, in case you don't know about the microplastics and the nanoplastics. It's all throughout the news. You can do your own cross-reference and check and look into it to see the validity of what I'm saying as to why I'm highly suggesting that you still run plastic bottle waters through a filter. You can boil it. There's even, I haven't tried it yet, but they say that you can add okra, raw okra, and a herbal property called fenugreek. And, you know, because they saying that it binds the plastics, and then you can filter that out. So there are methods of cleaning out your water. But the most vital thing that I want to also add is you want to look into these X2O alkaline trace minerals, because water that's dead and lifeless cannot do anything of any value or any health beneficial value for your body. And the only thing that you'll really be doing is continuing to waste your money and waste your time putting things inside of your body that look like water, that's healthy or that's doing something for you, but it's really not. So ultimately, you just giving your money away. But when you got the information, it makes it very hard to nearly impossible for you to get played or ripped off, right? When as a consumer and as a person, as a people, you have the truth and you know what you're supposed to know. So that way you can be more intentional and strategic when it comes down to how you spend your consumer dollars and what you spend your consumer dollars on. Why? Because you know why you're doing it, and you have a certain amount of confidence in knowing that why you're doing it, that you're going to get reciprocal value from the company that you're shopping from and that you're shopping with. Because that's reciprocity to me. Reciprocity has nothing to do with you going out working and doing what you got to do to get your money and your resources, and then you giving it to a company or a store or brand, thinking and believing that you're getting equal value or equal and greater value for your resources and your currency, which is attached to your energy that you had to put forth and put out to get it in the first place. And then ultimately, you're really not getting reciprocity because the products and the brands or whatever it is that you're purchasing is over promising and under providing. You see, so that's the value of Xooma Worldwide. You actually get more value. You know, you get more value, more bang for your buck because it is what it is, and that's all I gotta say. So you be the judge for yourself. You won't know till you experience it for yourself, like how I and many others across the nation, across the world have experienced it. And that's all I got for you. I just want to make sure that I rinse my clip, make sure everything is off the top on this particular video. If anything else comes to my mind, I'm going to keep speaking life into y'all. I'm going to keep on sharing what I can share with y'all in these ways. So that way, at least you will be able to make a more informed and better decision for you and your family when it comes to your health and your wellness. With that, take care of yourselves. Have a powerful week. And remember, it doesn't take much to do the right thing each and every day. A little bit of the right thing could go a long way and help you to keep all of the wrong things further away from you and your family. And I'm out of here. Peace.